Shalom, good morning. Sister Kate here. Just kind of hanging out in the woods. Had a couple of things I wanted to talk to you about this morning. One of them is Germaine Greer and the feminists and Harvey Weinstein. Germaine Greer is an Australian feminist. She's been around for a long time. She wrote a book. She made a comment about all these Me Too, Time's Up ladies from Hollywood who are coming forward with their stories about being sexually assaulted or pressured or whatever with Harvey Weinstein and other people. And she made a comment about it's painting a picture of the women who are involved in the way they're coming out about it and the way they're saying it, that they are powerless victims. And I do side with women. I do think women, if you're being repressed, oppressed, assaulted, you should speak up. I'm even a little bit more to the side of the women. I think you should be defending yourself, and you should be defending yourself with some sort of firearm and getting trained to do it. Having said that, you can't take time back. So these women come forward with these statements, and I've read several of the testimonials, and I'm sorry, from an objective point of view, they do sound kind of weak. These women, young women, continuously went to this man's hotel room for meetings, and it seems very strange that it happened over and over again, and not one of them said to another one, hey, don't go up to his room, or to themselves, going to a guy's room late at night at a hotel for a meeting sounds very shifty to me. Like, I don't think you should even put yourself in that position. But once you're there, he's putting a play on them. He's saying things like, you sit here, have a drink, I'm going to go take a shower. I'll be right back. And then he shows up with a bathrobe or something on and nothing underneath. Well, that's sort of a cause and effect sort of, he said he was going to take a shower, ergo he's got to disrobe, ergo he's going to not be in his clothes at some point. That's not rocket science to figure that out. And so what makes me wonder is then, if you want to be a powerful person, if you want to be seen as an independent, mature adult, why are you not reacting a little more strongly to what's going on? And I'm not blaming the women, but I am saying in the future, women, you got to be stronger. Men are very strong with each other. They try to one-up each other. They try to embarrass each other. They try to get control of situations. Watch them. They do things like play football. They crash into each other. It's not a gentle, loving, kind, fluffy world there in the world of male competition. And if you want to enter it, you can't expect them to be different. It's not the place to do it. You don't go into the middle of a war and then expect everyone to just sit down and have a cup of tea. That's not the dynamics going on there. And I'm talking about reality. I'm not talking about idealism. I'm not talking about the perfect situation. I'm talking about the world as it is. So if you want to be a power player, be a power player. Do the things it takes to be a power player. You get examples of it in movies, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about real people, real women. There's a woman who's been an ambassador in East Asia or Asia for a while now. She was the ambassador of Malaysia. She was the ambassador of Laos. She's now the ambassador to Pakistan. That woman is just doing those things. She did the requirements, and then she's dealing in that world, and she's doing a good job of it, and so she's in a position of power. That's the way to get ahead. I don't think she would have done some of the things that these actresses do, and I don't think actresses in general represent the totality of American woman. I'd say we're as varied as, our population is varied in economics, in age, in racial makeup, in career choices. And so I'm the kind of feminist, and I'm not really a feminist, but I'm the kind of person that if you want to be a logger, go be a logger. Apply for the position, get yourself trained, and then log with the guys. And don't complain and don't say, oh, well, it should be easier or anything like that. You can't go in there and change it. You want to change the logging business, run a logging business and run it the way you want to run it. Don't have a little marchy, protesty thing out front and say, oh, stop being loggers the way you are and be the loggers the way I want you to be. It's not the same thing. I'm sort of with Germaine Greer in just do it and stop complaining about it, because those testimonials and everything do sound like the women are victimized. They go there, he pressures them, they say no, he says, oh, come on, they say no. It just goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. If you're going to be a strong woman, if you're going to be an independent person, you go in there and you threaten him. You tell him, you get on your hands and knees and you sit there while I take pictures of you or whatever. And then you have the gravitas or a way to back that up. How many times more would he have done something like that if the first woman had marched him into the middle of the hotel lobby area and made him say, I'm a disgusting sexual pervert? I mean, how many times in the one interview did he say, don't expose me to the hotel that I'm staying, don't embarrass me like that? That was his one of his fears. And why did the women not do that? You know, how come the women did not turn the tables on him? I don't care how big he is. If you have some sort of firearm with you, it don't matter how big he is. He's going to do what you say. And I'm not saying commit a crime or threaten anybody. I'm saying be prepared to defend yourself and be prepared to be in control of a situation instead of walking into it blindly, naively. Oh, well, he's going to make me a star. They were looking to get something from him, and that's how he leveraged what he did to them. Right? Just understand what you're doing, and if you're going to be something, be that something. You know, don't protest it. All right, so that was the first thing. The second thing I wanted to talk about was walls. Right behind me, let's see, right over there-ish is a wall. Our president is talking about having a wall to keep illegal immigrants from entering our country. It's his way of dealing with a problem. Walls are a defensive, not maneuver, what am I trying to say? They are a defensive, not building tactic. They are a way to keep people out of where you want them to be kept out of. And another wall that I've read about recently is the Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China was to keep Mongol invaders out. They were a cavalry based military that would sweep down into China and steal things and rape people and kill whatever and go back to where they came from. Fast, powerful at the time. So China's answer is to build this wall, 16,000 miles plus. It's not just the one everyone knows. There's multiple ones that they're uncovering. And it was, you know, okay, successful against these raiders. And it's an amazing thing. I mean, it's a wonder of the world. And now our president wants to build a wall to keep illegal immigrants from coming across our border. And he has a point. Our borders should not be as porous as they are. A country is a country when its borders are secure, and our borders are not secure from people coming across. We have legal immigration. We have ways of having legal immigrants come into our country. And the reason that you want to control your immigration is manyfold, including legal, the financial, also medical. Ellis Island, which is, a liberal, Ellis Island and the statue and bring me your poor and whatever, you're hungry, your huddled masses. Well, Ellis Island was a point where people were examined. People were medically looked at, people's finances, their career choices, everything talked about, and people were rejected. Not everybody who came to the USA was allowed to come in. Some of them were sent back home because they didn't meet standards, and some of them were quarantined for a certain amount of time if they had a communicable disease. So you don't just throw that into your populace and make everybody else sick. I mean, it wasn't just everybody come on in. There was requirements there, and that's how most countries operate. Try to walk into, say, North Korea right now. You think they're going to be opening you welcome-handed and saying, oh yeah, come on in. No, no, try to go to China. China's not as easy to get into. You have to present papers. We watched a video of a guy who's in Thailand right now who said have multiple copies of your passport because it's going to be required of you to do things like rent a moped or get a hotel room. So the idealistic idea that borders are just there to mark a territory is naive. It's just not what they're really for. So it is important that our borders be secured. Now, is a wall on the southern border the answer? I don't know. It's kind of, last century. But what else are our options in order for people not to just flood across? Because, read the news stories. Al-Qaeda, ISIS, all sorts of people come across the border, as well as needy people from countries south of us. And medical issues are coming across with them. Financial things, pregnant ladies, criminals are coming across that border. We do need to secure it. I would love to see a high-tech solution, some way, and that people could be kept from coming across, and just the open areas be where you come and you, like an Ellis Island point, you apply to be a citizen, there's paperwork, there's exchange there, and then a yes or a no kind of situation going on. We could mine it. That's not really a morally friendly way to handle things, and it would, just people blowing up there and videos of that, it would be horrible. We could shoot a laser down it, I suppose, and then people touch it and burn their finger off. That's not really a very morally friendly way to handle it either. So I'm not even sure. I mean, our country, our president brought down the wall in the dividing East Berlin from West Berlin because he found it, his point was it's repressive and we're in the modern world and this is from World War II and we don't need it anymore. And, he was against communism in its forms, and so that was a way to be against it. So what do we do with our wall? I don't know, but I will tell you this. The Great Wall of China, that is not the most effective way to deal with keeping cavalry away. There's way better ways. And I don't want to get into a whole lot of details, but just picture big ditches. Horses need even ground to run on. You start giving them something really uneven, rocky, stuff like that, they can snap their legs, and it's precarious. So instead of building 30-foot wall, 30-foot tall walls and spending all those resources, time and everything, think smarter, think smarter. So how do we secure our borders? All right, hope these things have blessed you in some way. Shalom.